I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
The more you talk, the harder I want to hit you.
I'm happy because of being here today. Fuck you.
Come on, you want me to drive? No. You're supposed to be suicidal, remember? I'll
Anybody
drive.
a drive?
Let's get in the car.
Fucking shit. Fuck me in the fucking ass. Fuck you, you fucking stupid cunt.
Sorry I can't yell louder. I'm still kind of getting over being sick, and well, I want to learn. Okay, well, I don't want to be too noisy, so. But yeah, as you can tell, welcome to the Christmas background, and welcome to my Christmas look. But unfortunately, we're not starting off with a good Christmas movie. We're starting off with a bad one. And ironically, because lights, it's about lights. And well, this is one Shadow Leon I think wanted me to check out last year. Or wanted me to do a rant on last year. Because Inspector Gadget is not the only bad Matthew Broderick film. There is a Christmas one that's up there with it. This rant is going to be for Deck the Motherfucking Halls. A film that makes stuff like Christmas with the Cranks, Four Christmases, and Fred Claus look like masterpieces in comparison. Yes, especially Christmas with the Cranks. I think that film sucks too, but I think this is worse. Hell, this even makes Eight Crazy Nights look like a masterpiece. And I don't like that movie either. At least I already reviewed those. But so what is the plot of Deck the Halls? So Tom Morris, Steve Finch, played by Matthew Broderick, loves Christmas traditions he has set up with his family in his town, and has a schedule of activities for him starting December 1st. As the unofficial consultant for anything Christmas related in Cloverdale, Massachusetts. Yeah, by the way, this was shot in an actual town called Cloverdale. It's in my area. So, thank you. Thanks for being so creative. During the Christmas season, the Halls move into the house across the street from the Finches. They also have a different outlook and temperature from the Finches. Unlike Steve, Buddy, played by Danny DeVito, scams his way through life. Yeah, I'm surprised this guy ain't in fucking jail. And never falls with anything he starts. So Kelly, Tia, and their children begin relationships based largely on differences. Steve and Buddy butt heads based on differences. It begins with Buddy starting out his house seen from space because of some stupid app, apparently. One of the results of this task is he becomes this new go-to guy for anything Christmas related in Cloverdale and usurps Steve's position. So Steve and Buddy Somebody's open anonymity grows. They may threaten the joy of Christmas for all, especially their families who have their own ideas of what they would like to do with the Christmas season. Now let me get something straight. Both these characters are unlikable, but at the same time, it's like the film also kind of wants at the time, whenever Matthew Broderick's character hates Danny DeVito's character, it's like they want you to think Matthew Broderick's character is the bad guy. But when it comes to him hating Danny DeVito's character, at the very least he does make sense, because he's not really likable either, but Danny DeVito's character comes off as worse, actually. So, you can see why he dislikes him, because this guy almost wrecks his life, keeps him awake. humiliates him multiple times, almost gets him sent to jail over a car, even, and basically commits a lot of scams and crimes. 2. Yeah, so that's my reaction. Yeah, we have to start Christmas reviews this year with one of the top worst Matthew Broderick films yet. This film, I think, is fucking bullshit. I think it's stupid. I think it deserves to be stocked full of coal and reindeer poo in the stockings. It's not funny. Almost no characters in this movie are likable. It teaches the wrong morals of Christmas in every way. Yeah, Christmas lights are nice, but Christmas lights is not what Christmas is about. Like this movie wants you to think it is. And people can slander the Jim Carrey Grinch from all they want. At the very least, that gets the message of Christmas right. At the very least, it did. At least it kind of told people what Christmas kind of was about. It was kind of about being with family, not about all that stuff. Like, there was a scene in The Grinch that actually literally showed that. And so at the very least, it actually got the spirit of Christmas right. At the very least. As much as people want to slander that film, does that message better than this? So how was this film made? So this was originally titled All Lit Up. It was going to be set in the United States, but it was shot in my area and our locations through Metro Vancouver. Yeah, and when it comes to the scene with the speed skating race, Matthew Broderick apparently had to train with a real Olympic speed skater trainer for a few weeks before he could film the scene and stuff. But yeah. So after the film was officially shot and advertised, it got released into theaters on November 22nd, 2006. It got panned by critics. Yeah, good. I'm glad it did. And it bombed at the box office. Yeah, like it should. And it got released on DVD November 6th, 2007. So here are all the epic bad qualities and the story of Deck the Halls. So yeah, this film about two rival neighbors competing to have the best Christmas lights you think would try to at least be great, but this was just a mess. And the worst thing too, this was a great cast. Like both Matthew Broderick, Danny DeVito, I love both of them as actors. Matthew Broderick I think I like more as an actor. Maybe not so much as a person because of some hit and run story that he caused, like with a hit and run, but actor-wise I like him. I like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yes, I like Godzilla 1998. I like him in that film. I like Election. Which, ironically, that came out the same year as Inspector Gadget, except sadly that film bombed. Which it really shouldn't have. And of course I like Danny DeVito in almost every single film. Matilda, Batman Returns, even. Like, big examples, Twins. But nothing can really paper with the fact that this has a weak script and a poor sense of Christmas spirit. And many of these so-called funny moments are too predictable. And those that weren't predictable are just not funny at all. Like, there was not a single scene in this movie that's even funny. Throughout the film, like, how would anybody find any of these kind of scenes actual comedy? Yeah, basically a guy, two neighbors, both not likable characters. One of them basically cutting corners and scamming people, basically. And one of them not really acting like he really cares about his family at all, are our main characters. The plot was also too thin to make the movie interesting, and too thin for even a Christmas film in general. Like, then again, this was back in 2000 where these Christmas family comedies were often lazy or mean-spirited. They liked doing mean-spirited tones so much often they got cynical. That's where you had your Christmas with the Crankses. That's where you had your Four Christmases. That's where you had your Fred Clauses. And that's where you had your Eight Crazy Nightses. And that's where you had this movie. Yeah. This was pretty much a nail in the coffin to this genre at this point. It's like they stopped caring about making good Christmas films in the 2000s and they just gave up. By that point, why do you think we barely get any more? You get rare stuff, like, there was stuff like Arthur Christmas, but that didn't make money either, because, well, didn't have good trailers. He had a remake of The Grinch that actually sucked, but apparently it made money. You barely get them anymore. And it's clearly because of this film. So anyway, how do we start? So we basically start the movie off with this crappy looking setting of a town that looks like a model that you see at Michael's, basically, before it zooms to an actual town. It's a fictional town of Cloverdale. And this Christmas expert, Matthew Broderick's character Steve Finch, wants his family, consisting of his wife, daughter, who wants nothing to do with this, and son, the only one that seems like really wants to have anything to do with this, to have a great Christmas full of traditions, like using an advent calendar. Oh, yeah. And that, by the way, guys, you know the advent calendar scenes. There's advent calendar scenes in the movie. And you want to know something? They rip off the advent calendar scenes. Literally rip off this movie. This movie had advent calendar scenes to show the next day. You want to know something? It worked in this movie. In this movie. Yeah, this movie. I mean this movie. When they do it in this movie, it's fucking lazy. Because they literally just copied this. What, did they just get ideas from this movie and decide, hey, let's do that in this movie? That would be so great. How creative. Yeah, let's copy scenes from actually good Christmas movies, and we'll just make it stupid. We'll make it shit while we're at it. Yeah, because National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation did the advent calendar scenes too, we can make shit! And take Christmas card pictures and matching sweaters, and buy a perfect large tree. So, we start off December 1st, the first day of December. The new neighbors, Danny DeVito's character and his family, they move in across the street. Danny DeVito's character is a car salesman, an electrical engineer, and his trophy wife is played by Kirsten Chenoweth, who is basically, apparently how these two met, is that apparently Kirsten Chenoweth's character was a model in college, and apparently how DeVito's character met her, he met her by being a pervert. He basically apparently spied on her through the window and got caught by the professors, and apparently that's how they fell in love. What the fuck? This guy No. If I was a girl and some guy spied on me through windows, if I was a girl model and some guy was spying on me through windows, I'd have them arrested. Because that's being creepy and that's being a pervert. Surprised. That's why I say, that's one of the reasons why I say I'm surprised Danny's character was never arrested. Ugh. So yeah, they meet these neighbors the next morning, and like that happens in the scene when they meet, and Matthew's son basically sees a picture of painting of Chenoweth's character. Like she goes, okay, I'm taking this off. Matthew's son basically sees a picture of her posing, and literally the wife's like, stop staring. And Clint notices like this scene goes on for 3 minutes when they're first meeting. Oh yeah, Danny's daughters are both teenage and they look the same, they're twins. So later on, Kelly goes with Madison and Carter Hell House and they meet their twin daughters. He and Kelly become friends, and Ashley, Emily, and Madison as well. It's literally like this movie's trying way too hard to be Christmas Vacation. Produced only a meager, cliche facsimile of that classic. The elements are there. The yuppie couple, a cynical, too cool, teenage daughter, horn dog son, plot revolving around contrast with rough around the edges, already been done before in a million films. Yeah, a million films that are actually good actually did this whole plot better. And this is like a film that's just offensively bad. It's not a film that's like so bad I want to enjoy watching it, but it's just a film I never like watching. It's said that Hollywood apparently churned out this crap, and thinking people would actually go watch something like this. Like, how will they turn, like, Matthew Broderick into... They played Ferris Bueller in a film called Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and literally played a researcher in a Godzilla film, and turned to this unfunny, unlikable character that you don't really root for either. And it's just so bad in many ways, and the big sin is that it pinches most of the material from Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Which, by the way, guys, is such an insult to basically Chevy, an insult to the rest of the gang involved in that film, who actually did the whole Christmas edition classic way better. did nobody realize that true comedy has a shred of believability to be remotely funny? It's a blind case of jumping on the bandwagon and cramming situation without thought of continuity or subtlety. And like just about all the actors too, you could tell the actors look so bored. And the leads were horrible because they don't make them interesting, they don't make them likable, and the writing direction of this movie is awful. So, you now know more of Buddy's life. So, Buddy goes to work as this used car salesman, and he sells a car to the owner of the dealership, and it gets him promoted. Yeah, guess what, people? Apparently he gets a promotion from that. Yeah, that's how he gets a promotion. Believable. So later on that night, Sean's character then complains that he maybe sell anything. He is eventually going to get bored and gets fed up and then moves on. But DeVito character responds that he wants to achieve something greater than selling cars or copiers. So later on, he discovers that apparently the neighborhood can be seen on satellite photos. His house is not visible, but he decides, you know what? I'm going to make my house see from outer space using Christmas lights. So he pretty much buys out the whole entire store of Christmas lights. So basically selfishly steals them all from people who probably need them. And of course, yeah, like some of these people probably need all these lights too, you know. You can't just buy out the whole store. Like, imagine somebody else goes to buy some lights and they're all gone. Like, other people need them too, you know, not just you. As display grows bigger and it gets live animals, and it starts getting known around town, Steve is angered by this and he threatens the position as a Christmas guy. And then his envy even increases, like various incidents where when Steve wants his Christmas card photo, that gets ruined because Buddy gets this sleigh from the same store he's stealing all the lights from. Has these two horses with reindeer disguised as reindeer. Oh, they're not his horses. Apparently, DeVito's character found them. And when Matthew's son goes to sit on them, Matthew's character's like, no, get out of there quick. And then when Matthew gets in there, the horses that get taken off, and they get startled, and they take Steve for a ride, and he falls in a frozen lake. Apparently, like, Danny DeVito's character saves him from the lake, and he's taken to the hospital. And this part, apparently DeVito strips naked in the sleeping bag and says, your body temperature is low, so I need to rub it. Trust me, it works. And you know what? If I was in Matthew Broderick's position, I'd scream too. Like seriously. That joke's disgusting. Ugh. I had to strip down for body warmth, all in the same sleeping bag. I'd be screaming like Matthew Broderick's character too if I was in there. And of course, more scenarios happen. There's car doors that get ripped off during one of Buddy's light shows. His private Christmas tree lot gets destroyed. Oh yeah, when Matthew's son wants to cut it down, Matthew wants to upstart Danny DeVito's character, and he's pretty much like, no, I need to cut this down. Like, the son looks disappointed. Like, yeah, there's many bits when the son seems like he actually wants to spend a bit of time with Matthew's character. And like, I was thinking we'd go Christmas shopping for mall and we'd do some like little Christmas activities at the mall together. Actually, I ordered it from a catalog. Trust me, malls are insane asylums around this time of the year. Okay, that part I guess I can understand. Like, malls are chaotic and annoying during the Christmas season, but to be fair, the son actually seems like he wants to spend time with him, but it's like Matthew doesn't want to spend any time with his own, most of the time doesn't really want to spend time with most of his family, so he's not really a likable character either. And like, where the house finally can be seen from the space, like, it's at the end of the movie where it's pretty much a scene where it's snowing for crying out loud, so how could anything be seen from space if it's snowing? That's the thing. And you can tell the Hallmark movies effects are here because the town literally looks like a Hallmark set, and a badly built one too. It's like built on a fucking theater stage. Oh my god. And this whole town, by the way, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the Neighbors in Christmas with the Cranks. Where as soon as somebody else pretty much decides to get the Christmas spirit, they become the Christmas guy. Apparently a town has a holiday guy. One person apparently is Memorial Day, 4th of July. Apparently Matthew's the Christmas guy. A town does not have a certain holiday-themed guy. That is never a thing. Why is that even a thing? It should not be a thing. Ugh. And another thing too, your lights cannot be seen from space. There is never an app where you can be seen from outer space. There is not. That could never happen. So don't go get any ideas about that, because that could never happen, alright? And then two neighbors want to compete for the best lights. Well, I wouldn't really say compete. Matthew's character keeps trying to destroy them most of the time. Not really trying to do any lights either. He's just trying to really destroy them, but he's mostly trying to compete to be the Christmas guy again. And more even stupid bits. One part, Danny DeVito's character decides to quit his job for lights. Another bit where Matt Brower's character fires a missile at DeVito's house. And somehow DeVito's house doesn't get destroyed. At all. The plot alone's just stupid. Trying to blow up each other's homes, or trying to keep people awake with these stupid light things, be seen from outer space. Like, there's a bit that literally, some really weird parts too. I'm going to get to one in a little bit as well. So, later on, Buddy's house is lit. And even synchronized to music. And Steve decides that him and his son are going to sabotage the lights. And so Steve fills his fuse box with snowballs, but DeVito has a backup generator, so that gets foiled. And DeVito discovers this and decides he's got to steal the town's Christmas tree, put it in Steve's house, and buy him a car. Which, by the way, the next day when Matt Brock's character goes to work after receiving the car, one person says, "You need to pay for the car, you're going to go to jail." And when he tries to give the car back to DeVito's like, "No, you signed it. And by the way, I didn't sign anything." "Yeah, I know you didn't sign it, so I forged your signature." That is fucking illegal! To forge somebody's signature on stuff like a car. Like, there's a gazillion reasons why this character should have been in jail. And like, DeVito comes off as the worst asshole of the two. He's basically willing to send Broder's character to jail just because he reasonably got fed up with his lights because they were keeping him fucking awake. Like, this would keep any neighbor would be pissed off at this many goddamn lights keeping their ass awake at night. Like, even when I have Christmas lights, you want to know what I do before I go to bed? I unplug them. Yeah, the ones I have outside, I actually go outside and I unplug them before I go to bed so they don't keep my neighbors awake. Because it's actually a smart thing to do. That's exact. And I don't have this many damn lights outside my house. And DeVito decides because some guy doesn't like his lights, he's going to send some innocent guy to jail. Yeah, this is such a good character, people. So the families go to a winter festival where they compete him in a contests so that if he loses, he has to pay for the car. If not, then DeVito has to pay for the car. So at there, Matthew hits an old lady in the face. Him and Danny try to slide down a sled for little kids and struggle to do so. Their wives are getting fed up of this. So they force them to get along, so when they see a dance show, and they get pervy with the dancers, which, oh, by the way, guys, you want to know the joke? When Matthew's character says, "Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?" You guess what, people? Ha 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 ha! It's their daughters! Ha 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 ha! People! Get it? Get the joke? These guys got pervy over their daughters. That's supposed to be funny. Are we laughing? No! I'm not laughing at this shit. What idiot thought this would be funny? That's just disturbing. Yeah, these guys get pervy with dancers, and it turns out it's their daughters the whole time. So this is the bit where they have the bet about the car. So they have the speed skating race, and Steve loses, so he has to pay for the car. And Steve yells at him, calls him a nobody because his house is still not visible from space. So Buddy decides, instead of stop what he's doing, he's going to buy more LED lights and pretty much pawns off Chenoweth's vase that she had. And Chenoweth is mad about this, and she divorces him. And of course, he loses his job because of his obsession with the lights. And this is where you get that light show bit right there. And apparently, this light show is so bright that apparently it doesn't basically cost people epilepsy because of how overly flashy this thing is. Anybody who could imagine this film was a big surprise, I'm willing to bet you that anyone who would think this would be a good surprise for a family would probably inhale helium for their job. Maybe, who could describe how tedious of a wreck this film really is? It's like watching a bunch of anthro reindeer characters smoke marijuana at Santa's village or smoke weed. Yeah, Seth Rogen would make that. Hey, Dad, we have a Christmas film about reindeers, so we're smoking weed. Even Santa Claus would probably avoid these neighbors. Both these characters are unlikable, but there are times when Matthew's character makes sense, but I don't really root for his character either. Basically, Danny DeVito's character, though, is the worst of the two because this guy basically wrecks his life, ruins his reputation. Oh yeah, used disturbing methods to warm him up after falling to an icy lake, which is disgusting. Oh, basically sold off his wife's vase for stupid lights. What else can I think of? Almost got Broderick character sent to jail over a car because a guy tried to shut off his lights because it was waking him up in the middle of the night. Oh yeah, pretty much committed an act of vandalism on a landmark tree, which is illegal. Oh yeah, and forged Broderick's signature for the car even, which is double illegal. Surprised he didn't get fired for that. And steals Broderick's power and other people's power to be seen from space. Has a seizure-inducing light show that goes on for 3 minutes. That would have gotten thousands of complaints from neighbors in real life, a bunch of hospital bills and lawsuits, and $1 million electricity bill in the end. Yeah, this guy's a great hero. And Steve finally has had enough of the show reasonably, and buys fireworks, and tries to destroy the house, and the rocket misfires though, and it sets the Christmas tree from the town on fire, so Steve's family divorces him next. And Kelly scolds Steve for ignoring his children to focus on Buddy even. And calls him out for those moments when he refused to spend time with his son, or refused to acknowledge his daughter was growing up. So, both of them are now divorced, and Steve discovers Buddy stole power for the lights, and seeing him taking down his lights, Steve then suddenly forgives him. For what? For almost wrecking your life, for almost getting you sent to jail, for getting you almost dying in a frozen pond? No, you shouldn't forgive. Oh, and that made your family leave you? Even? And to cut down your town's Christmas tree? And forged your signature on car papers? You shouldn't forgive this guy. Why would you just forgive this guy all of a sudden? This guy wrecked your life. And the two forget their rivalry and decide to build a winter wonderland with all the Buddy's lights that really should have not been reactivated. And so they lure their families at this front. They're staying at the inn. They lure them back home, and they sit down to a nice meal made by the men. DeVito's character gets the vase back, and apparently it's going to cost them all their credit cards. Like, just everybody's miscast. Matthew Broderick even feels miscast in this character's role. Like, the dialogue is just so bad. You could tell Broderick didn't want to be in this movie. Like, all the audience gets is one over-the-top gig after another. It makes you wonder if this feels like it even should be a Christmas film at all. So anyway, now we get on with the finale, which is one of the worst Christmas movie finales ever. Because guess what? Nobody learns a thing at the end of the movie. So, excuse me, as a whole family is celebrating, the whole town arrives at Buddy's house to help put his lights back up in time for a story on MTV. So at first it seems like it's going, but they don't work, so everyone just gives up on the goal and decides to sing carols and use their cell phones as flashlights. And Steve accepts Buddy's offer to be his friend. You should not accept any offer. You should have sent this guy to jail. But apparently Matthew's son notices The reason why the lights don't work is because apparently one of the plugs wasn't plugged in the whole time. And so he plugs it in, and the lights shine brightly through the night. And pretty much the app that's doing the MTV report gets confirmation that the app can be seen from space. So one of the people that works at the app place is actually played by Cal Penn from Harold and Kumar. And so, yeah, the house got seen from space. The crowd celebrates. The end. Guess what? Yeah, they got the dream of the lights being seen from outer space. So guess what, people? Who learned anything in the movie? Nobody. Nobody learned a damn thing. There was no point of this realization at all. They just gonna go back to their selfish selves regardless, everybody. I can bet you, though, Buddy's probably still gonna have to get a massive power bill at the end of the year for all the lights. Maybe seen from space, but you're probably gonna have to deal with the power bill, so good luck. Now you're probably not gonna be able to use your credit cards for bills anymore, so you're fucked. Yeah. But what would I know? Apparently these are good characters. But thankfully the movie is finally fucking over. You're all wondering, do I have any good qualities or at least one good quality with the movie? No. This film sucks, and it's a bunch of humbug. That deserves coal and reindeer poo. So yeah, Deck the Halls should be called Crap the Halls because it's crap. Sorry this rant wasn't very good. I'm trying to get back to reviews because I had a cold last week. So I'm trying to, it's going to take a while to get back to, the good efforts of reviews. So sorry this review wasn't that good. So in the end, please avoid Crap the Halls because this film is a bunch of dog shit steamed into one. If you want to have a shitty Christmas, go watch this film. That's the thing. If your kids were naughty all year for Christmas, the punishment would be to watch this film. If they were naughty all year. If they were on the naughty list, this is the present Santa would give them. Santa would give naughty kids on the naughty list this movie on DVD for Christmas as a Christmas present. Because they would feel like that kind of movie. Anyways, that's it for my epic rant on Deck the Halls. You want to rate Deck the Halls? Here's how I'm going to rate this movie. So overall, this is reindeer piss that can be buried in the hay because it's such an insult to Christmas, and I never ever demand you watch this. Not ever. And if you're wondering how to rate Deck the Halls, I'm going to give Deck the Halls a 0 out of 10. Alright, there we go guys. That wraps up my epic rant for Deck the Halls. Now I want to know in the comments down below what you guys think about Deck the Halls. Until then, that'll be it for this epic rant. Thank you all for watching. If you'd like to watch some more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Dodgy Corleone.